This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, welcome everyone to episode 18 of the Drip Geeb Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is host Drip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Uncle Geeb. We also record this podcast live on twitch.tv/Drip Media. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our video podcast over on youtube.com/Drip Geeb. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe on your podcast app of choice. This week, we have a special guest with us. We're not going to reveal that. When we get there. But there's a special guest in the waiting to come on our podcast and make loud sounds. We also are going to talk about the Metroid Dread game that came out last week. So we're going to get into a deep dive in that topic. We're also going to talk about the Animal Crossing DLC and just the Animal Crossing 2.0 update in general. So that's what's on today's podcast. And now let's go over to Drip. You're now on camera. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Sorry, I was
You're good.
Looking at my phone and stuff.
You're
How
good.
you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm fantastic, as always.
Wonderful.
It's weird because I want to talk about my week, and I'm like, wait a minute. When was it? We're recording this on a weird day. Usually this is on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It's a Monday. But we had a really big week last week, man. I don't know. I'm good. I can't even remember what I did last week. It's been so long. I want to talk about it, but I just, we got all this stuff. I mean, all the stuff we're talking about in the episode was my week.
Oh,
pretty much.
I mean, I can kind of relate, to be honest. I mean, playing wise, I've been playing those games. I watched that direct. So yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, even the games, like what we've been playing, it's literally the same thing as what we're like. I've been playing Dread. I've been playing Animal Crossing, getting ready. Well, Animal Crossing, I actually started decorating for the Halloween party coming up on what is it, the 28th.
Oh, okay, cool.
Started decorating for
what
that.
Have you gotten done?
We got a lot of pumpkins up. We got a lot of stuff, but I actually went back in today and I started looking around and I was like, okay, I have a bunch of the same stuff. I need to go look online and find like some creative decorating ideas, not just like the stuff they give you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think somebody mentioned that they have the the little standy things where you can poke your head through.
Yes.
There's a bunch of Halloween ones, I guess, that you can find, like designs. So I'm going to put some of those up. It's going to be cool. We're trying to we've already got a bunch of prizes lined up. Tom Talk's going to be giving some stuff. Power A is going to be giving some stuff. Trying to line up a few others, but I'm also trying to line up something big, like a very, very big first prize. Still in the works, so I can't talk about it yet.
Okay. But, all right. We'll leave links in the description of the podcast if there needs to be some.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully I'll know tonight. So, I mean,
okay.
if it happens, I'm going to be announcing it as soon as possible because I want this to go well. It went really well last year. I mean, obviously, you were there. It was a ton of fun last year. And we're going to try to open up the second island this year, right?
We're going to try. Now, I haven't started yet with the actual decorating. I have started on collecting pumpkins and collecting weeds, which is going to be required to make all the fences. And the pumpkins are going to be required to make the decoration. But yes,
right.
We're going to have the second island open. How extensive it's going to be and how awesome, that's to be seen.
It's going to be another place for people to go because, know, especially if we do have more than we had last year, we are going to have to cycle people in and out so we can let everybody get their costume into the contest because that's how we do it. For those of you who weren't there last year,
right?
As you come off the airport, we'll have 3 judges. It's that little runway. As you come out of the little gate, your costume reveal. The judges will check it out right there. We had 3. Were you a judge last year?
I was not a judge. You
were not a judge. It was Abby,
there, but I was not a judge.
Mamaran and Sean. Sean was the other one.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we've got some people who want to be judges this year. I don't remember who wants to be a judge. Somebody's asked. Several people have asked me if they can be a judge, but we're gonna get all that figured out. That's kind of I've put it on the back burner a little bit, but I really need to start pushing getting that stuff ready. Other than that, been playing Dread. We'll talk about that later. But
yeah, man.
Good Lord.
Before we get to I've been working a lot. I have, as my Twitch viewers probably know, I've not streamed very much at all. And that
you've been gone, man. You've been gone.
Listen, it's a funk. We're in a funk. And also I've been working more at work. So I've been doing like the 7 a.m. to 3:30. So it's 8.5 hours technically.
So you can buy a Switch OLED, right?
No, just because my supervisor needs the help. He can't come into work.
Yeah, I know. I'm messing with you, but seriously though, you need a Switch OLED.
I kind of do. You ruined my joke. I was gonna come in here like, Yo, guys, I have a Switch OLED. Ignore the fact that there's no Joy-Cons on it, but here's my Switch OLED.
You got me. It looks just like it.
Fun fact, I know iPhone users haven't really had OLED screens for that long at all, if you even have one at the moment, because I know Abby has an iPhone 11, but those do not have OLED. But Android users have been using OLED screens for years.
I have an 11, but mine is an 11
That's
Pro
LCD.
Max.
Oh, the Pro Max has the...
This is the OLED screen.
No, noise is going.
You know what? That's something else. That's something else I wanted to talk about really quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. We didn't do the podcast last week because we wanted to wait on the Animal Crossing stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to talk about the OLED. Like, dude, it's absolutely amazing.
It really is. I mean,
it is such. I didn't realize it was going to be this much of an upgrade as far as the screen goes. I sold my other two. I sold them. They're gone.
Your other
I sold the other two tablet parts. I just sold them on eBay. I don't need them. I don't even want to look at them. It's too good, man. It's too good. You can't go back. Once you go to the OLED screen, it's very, very hard to go back and look at the old screens. Very hard.
So obviously I don't have the Switch OLED, but I do have an OLED phone. And the OLED phone, the screen, now the panel, in fact, the panel is made by Samsung on the OLED. That's probably a better panel than what I have on my phone even. But I have the Pixel 4 XL. But, I mean, I know OLED. And OLED, it looks so good. I mean...
You know, it's very interesting. My iPhone actually has a Samsung OLED screen in it.
Yeah, iPhones have... All iPhones, even the LCDs, are Samsung.
Yes, Samsung makes all of them. That's so funny.
And
I don't buy it Samsung, so I get Apple products. Like, no, you're buying Samsung. Your screen's a Samsung.
Oh, and then if you're an Android user, like I don't like Samsung. Samsung phones are for Samsung. I use a Pixel, or I use a LG, or I use a this. Well, guess what? The new Pixel is coming out this year. The Pixel 6. The processor is going to be made by Google. I'm using quotes here. It is made by Google, but guess who's manufacturing it? Samsung.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Listen, Samsung. Without Samsung, where would we be in tech? Like, thank you, Samsung, for being you.
Listen, my TV, it's not an OLED, but it's pretty nice.
Exactly, me too. Samsung, back there, fireplace.
Samsung, yeah.
Samsung.
Yeah, you know what TV I have? The one downstairs here.
Yeah,
the one that
it's fantastic. It's
great,
so much better than mine because it upscales to 4K and smooths it out.
It's just automatic. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Essentially, when Drip plays Undocked, it's Animal Crossing. It's 60 FPS, 4K. It's just like what we would have wanted on.
Yeah, the TV just automatically does it, which is amazing. It does. Yeah. It does look great. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the beer of the week.
The beverage of the week.
Beer of the week. Soon we're gonna have a song for beer of the week.
Yeah! Gel's in the chat. Shout out.
Yep.
So beer of the week. I will let Drip go first because he always has the interesting one. So let's get him go first.
Oh.
No bottle opener. What are you doing?
No.
Did
I do it again?
Man, you did it. Use a. Don't you? Actually, you can't use the microphone like you did last time.
What did I use last time? Oh, I know what it was. It was the rear lens cap for my lens.
That's right. Well, maybe do you want to go first, explaining it, and then try it, or you want me to go first?
Go ahead first. I'm gonna get it opened up.
Okay. So my beverage of the week is not a beer. It's a beverage. And actually, I was going to have no beverage of the week because this podcast was kind of last second. Not last second. Actually, not. That's a complete lie. We knew this was happening. I just didn't get the beer in time because that's me. I am a terrible person.
You're real. I'm going to say this right now. I just want this out there for the record. You're really bad at beer of the week. You're really bad.
Dude, I'm sorry.
You're really bad.
There's lots of stuff going on. But
I know, man.
It's just so much going on in my life. But so the beverage of the week is not a beer. It is a Cayman Jack margarita in a bottle.
Dude, I'm so glad you have that. I drank those at Talladega. Those are so good.
Dude, it is
so good.
Smooth and sweet.
Oh, they're delicious, man.
And will f you up. And I'm
yes, they will. Oh, my God. My God.
I've already had 2 Busch Lights, and I'm drinking this, and then I'm going to have another Busch. I'm already starting.
Is it that kind of podcast?
It's that kind of life for me right now. So that's why.
Hey, you know what? It's fine, man. It's fine.
Drink your sorrows away. But yeah, no, this is absolutely delicious. Made with lime juice and agave nectar. It's just simple ingredients, but sounds fancy and making me salivate while I'm not drinking it. I guess why I'm getting all salively sounding. So good.
That stuff is so good. We had those. My buddy, hat guy, Matt Moran.
Yeah.
He brought a bunch of them and was like, these are for the mornings. Just save these for the mornings. And I was like, okay. And it was morning, so I opened one up and I was like, oh my, these are fantastic. They're so good.
Yeah, man, they're delicious. What do you got there that you opened with your
so I have
camera lens?
Of course, we're still in the season. I've been doing pumpkin beer since the beginning of September. What do we have now? 2 more weeks after this?
Yeah.
So this is the last one. I don't know, long-time listeners will know I went and got a bunch of different pumpkin beers right off the bat. This is the last one left. It is a Saranac Pumpkin Ale. Ale brewed with pumpkin and spices and other natural flavors added.
Okay.
So look at the logo there. It's got a jack-o'-lantern on the logo, and it looks like the inside has like toxic waste in it. So that sounds really appetizing right off the bat. There's 5.3% alcohol.
Oh, I didn't mention.
What are those? Yeah, what are those?
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you that.
It was 5 point something. 5.8.
Oh.
That's low. It's low. It's like dead medium. Not low. Yeah. It's not high by any means. It's like medium.
So this one doesn't have. Usually, these have like the little. You know what I mean? The little like, oh, it tastes like this, and it's got that in it. It's got this and that. This one doesn't have any of that. So we're just kind of we're going in blind, I guess.
Let's do it, man.
We can do the smell test.
Give it a little sniff.
Ew.
That's not exactly the reaction we want.
Good. It doesn't smell good. I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't smell good. Again, like last week, it kind of smells like a real pumpkin. It kind of smells like, it's very weird. It kind of smells like weed a little bit.
When a beer smells like weed from experience, that means it might be spoiled.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not.
I'm afraid for you. I mean, I've fully drank an entire expired beer and not unhappy about it. But I mean, just saying.
No, it's not. It's not expired. It's not that old. All right, here we go.
All right, he's taking his sip. He took his sip. What is his reaction? His face is fine.
Okay,
he's shaking his head.
All right. So this is the winner from last year. I believe it was the Blue Moon Pumpkin was the winner last year of the ones that I had through all this stuff. This tastes like that, only it's muted. It's like there's actual pumpkin spice flavor in there, and it's not that real like I just took a bite of a pumpkin flavor. It's that canned pumpkin flavor.
Right. Preferred pumpkin taste.
Yeah, I want that flavor. Yeah, I'd rather have that. Yeah. It's got a little bit sweet. It's very, very smooth. But it's like the flavors are all there, but they're just like flatlined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you take the drink and you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. Then it stops. It's like, okay, it was good, but it's not great. This one's not gonna win, but I can tell you this: it's tasty. It tastes a lot like the Blue Moon one that won last year. It just doesn't have. I think it's got a little bit more of the like the back end spice, like cinnamon a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit more of that. It's good. It's really good. It's not going to win. But it's good.
Do you have your list ready to go at the moment?
No. I know what's the winner at this point, but I don't want to say.
Okay,
at this point, I know who the winner is.
Well, I mean, who knows? Next week could kind of change it up.
That's
the
thing. Know. All the ones in my refrigerator are gone now. So like for the next few that I have to do, I actually have to go back to the store and find new ones. So who knows?
Right.
I'm going to try to find ones I've never had. This one I've never had. It's good.
Cool, man. I just want to say, we don't usually do this, but I want to say it. I just want to cheers everyone at home listening right now. If you're in your car, you got your latte, or hopefully you should not be drinking in the car, but whatever beverage you're drinking in the car, wherever you're watching
beer in the car.
or listening, wherever you're watching or listening, just cheers to you guys. Appreciate you, especially you in the chat.
Cheers.
Right now. Cheers to you guys. We have a special guest. You may know him best for his appearances on Geeb Night, where he gets really loud and obnoxious and would make me really frustrated and have to like mute the Discord audio and all that good stuff. Well, boy, has his life changed since we've known him. Our special guest, he's grown up with you, right next to you, and it is Hari.
Hey!
AKA Ghirahim Media on Instagram. Hari, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on the stream.
Welcome in, man. Welcome in.
I'm still so cold right now. Oh my god, it was freezing outside.
Yeah, let's start with that.
Let's start right there.
So we couldn't tell you guys, but it's really funny. I'll set this up and I'll let him tell the story. He told us right before we got on here. He's like, man, everything will be fine as long as like the fire alarms doesn't go on.
Yeah.
Hari is at college in his dorm right now. The fire alarm has been an issue there clearly. And he said, as long as the fire alarm doesn't go off, we're going to be totally fine. And what happens right before we go live?
Definitely
The fire alarm.
fire alarm turning on. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
He's like, guys, do you realize what just happened? Do you realize this just happened? We're like, what? He's like, it's a fire alarm.
We definitely didn't have to evacuate the building, and I definitely did not have to go back outside.
That's okay, because when we were doing the podcast, Drip was like, so we'll update our special guest. I currently see some police lights going on out.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what is going on? Then I was like, is this real? Is this actually like? Is there really a fire? Then I was like,
oh, dude, it was totally real. Like the police came, the fire trucks came, obviously, even an ambulance came too.
Oh, really?
So,
there was an actual fire?
I don't know. Something definitely happened. Like,
of course it did.
Like, something definitely happened. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but something definitely did.
Hashtag college life. Hashtag college
That's hilarious.
Life. Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Go Hokies.
Yeah, whatever. Get out of here with all that.
Well, Hari, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You tonight are our resident Metroid Dread expert, and more specifically, Metroid expert, because you, if I'm not mistaken, have played every single Metroid game in the franchise.
I played all the 2D Metroid games. I haven't played the Prime games, but I have played all the 2D games.
Okay, well that's perfect.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about.
So I don't have any questions like written down for you, which I probably should have did that. But I mean, first things first. Now you don't have to give me a number exactly where does it rank for you compared to all the other 2D games? Well, actually, let's start there. How many 2D games of Metroid are there? Let's just start right there. How many Metroid 2D games are there?
There are 5 total. Actually, there's technically 7, but 2 are remakes of the first 2 games.
Okay, so I mean, I would say that counts because remakes can be different.
And now you played the remake versions of those, right? You played, what was it? Samus Returns is one of the remakes, and then what's the other one? Zero Mission?
Mm-hmm. Zero Mission's a remake of Metroid 1.
Yeah,
Samus Returns would be a remake of Metroid 2.
Okay, yeah, that's that. If I go back and play them, I'm definitely playing those. I'm not.
Those are by far the definitive versions to play. Like I tried to play Metroid 1 on the online, right?
Yeah, I tried it too. No, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm not with that. That's too much for me.
I tried Metroid 1. I didn't even bother trying Metroid 2 because I knew I was going to hate that game, honestly. But the remakes, phenomenal remakes for sure.
So then, correct me if I'm wrong. It's Zero Mission, then Samus Returns, and then Super Metroid is 3, and then what's after that?
Metroid Fusion.
Fusion, that's what it is. That's the one I was forgetting. And then Dread.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the game, you've beat it. You've played all the way through it. Have you gone back and played any more after you've beat it?
To be honest, I might restart a playthrough soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it on the Are you gonna do it in the next difficulty?
Probably because honestly, like I was one of the few people that didn't find it as difficult. Like a lot of people found this game really hard.
Dude, I'm having serious problems with it, man. It's so hard.
Like I said, I mean, you progress through the game through knowledge, skill, and Lord Ghirahim.
I know. I will say this. Let's go ahead and put this out there. I was stuck in a part of the game. I'm going to go ahead and say gameplay time. I was probably stuck for 3.5 hours. So finally, I text Hari and I'm like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I need to figure this out. What am I doing wrong? He was like, oh, dude, you're in the wrong place. You got to go. And that was it. Literally, after he told me that, I went there, searched around for about 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, there it is. I've been looking for that for 3.5 hours.
I want to add before I forget, because this is one of the things that bothers me most about Metroid Dread. There are a few things that bother me, but this bothers me the most. I guess it's people in my chat when I was playing it on Twitch the other night were telling me that it's a style game, and I get it. I played Ori and the Blind Forest, or Ori and the Will-o-Wisp, actually, what I played. And I played no more than an hour and a half of it because I got really frustrated with the game. And this is a very similar style game. What is it about these games? Why can't they give you like a little nudge? Like, hey, just like up, just up, or like left, like just like breathe. Have this little thing breathe and know you got to go this way. Or come on, like what? Can we get like the tiniest of tiny hints would be so helpful.
Here's what I want to tell you real quick. Like just like what you're describing, if you're looking for something like that, right? The best game for you is Metroid Fusion.
That's exactly what he told me too. I'm gonna play Metroid Fusion after I'm done with Dread, I think, because
Metroid Fusion, one of my favorites in the series for sure. it's a lot linear. It's a lot more linear, and they put you on more of a guided path, like where you need to go next. Because it's probably the most story-driven game in the series, I'd say, even after Dread. But yeah, it's linear. Tells you almost where you need to go. You're gonna rarely get lost in the game, so you don't have to worry about that.
I have exactly 3 notes to say about Metroid Dread. First one, looks fantastic. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Second note, hard. I just wrote hard. The game is hard. And the third note, I'm excited for not only the next 2D, but mainly the next 3D Metroid game. Those are my 3 notes on the game. I mean, that's all I have to say about this game, honestly. Like it looks great, it's hard, and I can't wait for the next one.
I have a question about Dread as far as no spoilers, obviously, but as far as the story with Dread, I'm just now to a point where there's been a big change in the game. Something else has been added to what's happening. I'm there now. Up until that point, up until like right before that, the only cutscene that I've seen was like the first one. But I feel like even though I've only seen, once I got to this point, we started to see a little bit more of that. I feel like they've told this story really well just through some of the dialogue, though. Like even without big cutscenes, I feel like this story is being. I know what's going on just by going in and talking to what's the robot or the AI voice?
Adam.
Yeah, just by talking to Adam and like getting those little tidbits of things, I feel like the story's it's decent. Now, as someone who's completed the game. Is there more? Are we going to start seeing more cutscenes? As like where I'm at. I don't want to spoil anything, but like where I'm at. Is it starting to get?
Dude, it's just after that cutscene you're talking about. That's when the story just like really picks up.
Okay,
you'll get a few more cutscenes. You'll get. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll just say like obviously you're going to get more cutscenes.
Yeah,
you're going to get more dialogue. This isn't a spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything. Metroid Dread possibly has the best twist Nintendo's ever put out in a video game.
Really?
For longtime Metroid fans, if you're like a huge Metroid fan, or if you became a huge Metroid fan this year just because of Dread, and you wanted to play and you played the other games like I did, there's a twist near the end of the game that's gonna blow your mind. It's insane.
Okay. So as someone who, what I did, I think you already know this, but what I did is I watched a Nintendo Life video that was about 23 minutes long that gave me the entire history of Metroid, everything. Watching that video actually gave me a lot of context to what I was going into. I felt pretty comfortable jumping into this game just by watching that. Things that happen, I'm like, yeah, I got it. Bird people, I know. Yep, this, that, I got it. Okay. Is it going to be that big of a deal to me, or am I going to be kind of left out on this?
You won't be left out, that's for sure. I mean, watching the video, I think you'll
know.
You'll have shock value, that's for sure.
Okay.
You're gonna have shock value. You're not gonna be like, what just happened, like I was.
Yeah.
But like,
okay.
You'll have shock value, and especially if you had shock value from the cutscene you just witnessed.
Oh my god, yeah, all that. Well, okay. And I didn't even realize, like, I didn't even realize what was actually happening in the last cutscene that I saw. Not the last one, but what started that whole different thing that's going on now. I didn't realize what it was until after. And then I was like, oh my God. Like that is okay. I didn't even realize. Had no clue.
Just wait, because
it's so hard to not talk about spoilers. I'm trying really hard to not spoil,
but all I'm gonna say is this game lived up to the conclusion storyline that I wanted it to.
So far it's great. I mean, Geeb, where are you at in the game, Geeb?
Very, very, very not very far.
How many areas do you have open?
This is the second one now. The first, initial area.
Okay.
The second, yeah, I've not played very much. I haven't really gotten the chance to play too much. And my gameplay style when I play any game is usually play for an hour and kind of put it down for a day, and then play another 2 hours the next day, put it down, play 30 minutes the next day. I play in very small segments, usually under an hour. So I'm finding with Dread, it's kind of hard to make progress that way, because when you get lost, you can be lost for 45 minutes easy. And I spend 15 minutes being lost, and I get one thing accomplished a day. Not very far.
I feel like I'm at the point now where I think I'm like gameplay. I believe I'm about, I want to say 8 to 9 hours in.
Yeah, I'm 2.5.
You have to remember, like 3 of that at this point was just me walking around in circles.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell am I doing?
I'm 2.5 in, but I'm probably realistically 45 to an hour in actual progression.
Yeah. Okay. How long did it take you to beat it, Hari?
Me? It took me 6 hours, actually. That was my
God.
I don't do. And that's not me.
Us old men over here. We're like putting on our glasses. Like, well, hold on now. I need to see what's over here in this little corner now.
I would say like, oh yeah, we have full-time jobs for adults, but this mother effer is going to college.
Is my job. I should have already beat this game. I should have beat this game forever ago.
Give the man some props over here, going to college and like beating every game under the sun. Like, how can you? I mean, you're a chemical engineer major, so. Knowing what I know about chemical engineers, you're pretty darn smart. So that's probably how you're able to get everything done. Plus, the game.
I mean, I wanted to keep finding out more of the story, so like I just could not put the game down, and then the gameplay, obviously, like God, it's so.
Yeah,
good.
let's touch on that for a second. The actual game, just moving Samus around the screen, is such a joy. Every single thing you get, and that's the thing. And Geeb, you wait. Because it gets better.
I bet.
Every time you get something new, like all these little button combinations and stuff, finally for me, it's starting to feel not like I'm looking down to figure out what needs to be pressed at the same time. Because that's the thing. Once you start getting all this other stuff, which I don't even have all of it yet, but you're starting to do different button combinations. Like you're hitting like the right trigger and the left bumper to do something. And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just now starting to get comfortable enough to where like I can run through a room, slide under this thing, jump up, grab this wall, turn over and shoot it. You know what I mean? Like it's once you really get it and you can do it in a fluid motion, not only does it feel amazing, but it's amazing to just watch. It looks like you're watching a movie or something.
It's undoubtedly the best she's been in the series by far. Undoubtedly the best controls, undoubtedly the best gameplay.
Is there anything from the old games that they've taken and made better in this game that someone like me wouldn't know?
Samus Returns. The combat in Metroid Dread is essentially a fully realized version of what was in Samus Returns. Completely.
So it's just like the 2.0 version of that.
Yeah, it's so refined. Like in Samus Returns, if I remember, like when you were trying to like counter something, or like you could even do like a melee attack as you're running. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that because you can do that in Metroid Dread.
The X button, that counter. And shoot! Oh my God, is that not like the most satisfying thing ever?
So good,
that
man.
Is so nice. Like, every time I do it, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, the combat is just so much better than Samus Returns. Like Samus Returns had good combat, but Dread just here's Samus Returns and here's Dread. Like it's that much better. It's that much of an improvement.
As it should be. I mean, this is a brand new Nintendo release. I mean, it should be. It should be better.
You're talking about a 3DS game, bosses. Let's Geeb, how many have you seen so far?
Uno.
One. Okay. So you've seen the first one, but the first one's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
The first one's pretty nice. And that's one that was in like the original trailer. I don't know what his name was.
I do want to say about that first boss, I played it on Twitch, and actually when I started streaming this game on Twitch for the first time, I didn't expect to make any progress. I expected to run around for an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, and say, sorry guys, sorry I wasted your time. Have a good night. Here, raid someone out. But actually, I did make it to a boss. I made some progress, and then I did lose the first time. I got into the room with the boss. I lost.
How many times did it take you?
Alex, and I want to say, Alex from Switch Corner, he was like, does this dude know it's going to take him like 2.5 hours to beat this boss? And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I was really mad. And I got mad, not at him, but at the fact that I was going to sit there for 2.5 hours. Because I'm like, look, if he says 2.5 hours, it might take me 4 to actually beat this boss. I beat it on 3 tries.
Oh, wow. It took me, what did it take me, 6 or 7? And then the second boss took me 10. Yeah. I think the second boss took me 10. But after that, that's when I started to really get like the controls. Like the last boss that I did, the one that I did Saturday night on stream, the first one, it was like I was feeling it, man. Like you have to do all this weird stuff, and like I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But then, you're doing like all these different things, like in combination. You're doing this thing, and then you got to do this, and you got to do that. It's all really, really quick, but like
involves dodging and sliding. I mean, that's not anything spoiler related. I mean, you got to dodge, you got to slide,
and there's more too. Once you start getting these new moves too, it's like it just builds and builds and builds and builds. It's really good. It's really well done, and
only gets better.
That's what I'm saying. I can't wait to get into the rest of the game. I can't wait to see what else there is. Like I haven't even got all the abilities and stuff. So
especially at the end game, like the end, God, the final boss of this game is amazing.
Yeah.
And it still hasn't been. I know there's a lot of stuff out there that I guess it's been spoiled for a lot of people. I've stayed away from it, and that's the thing. I don't know shit about this franchise anyway. So like, you could show me who it is, and I'm probably gonna be like, I don't know who that is. I mean, there's only one person that if it's Ridley, then I'll be like, okay, I know who that is.
It's that the Smash Dragon.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that big pterodactyl in Smash. I know that for sure.
The bosses are amazing. Like, in my opinion, they are the best in the series too. Like, just from not even just from a design perspective necessarily, but like from a mechanical perspective, like the gameplay in these bosses, like, I don't know what it is, man. It just feels like I'm fighting a Zelda boss. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
like, there's that element that you have to.
There's like
you have to figure out how to beat it.
Like in that first boss alone, like there was just like I'm not gonna spoil it. Obviously, it's hard not to talk about spoilers, but there's a specific thing you have to do.
Right. Yeah, but you're right though. It's exactly the same way with Zelda bosses. Like, you go in and you might fight the boss and die instantly like 10 times because you just can't figure out what that one thing is you're supposed to do, to get him on the ground so you can stab him with your sword or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These bosses definitely have that. That's I don't think they're quite as difficult. When you go into one of those rooms, like, you kind of see it. It's like, okay, that, up there, I got it.
And the funny thing is, like, a lot of fans out there in the Metroid fandom, one of the things they have complained about in the past is the bosses. Some of the Metroid fans have talked about like these bosses, they're not as good, or like they're not fun to fight, And like previous Metroid games, all you had to do was like, missile spam them all the time. But like Dread, no, there's a strategy involved.
Wait, so you could literally walk into a room with a boss in the other games and just spam missiles and beat it like that?
They're hard to hit though. That's the thing, because of the controls.
Okay, but that was the style before this game.
Yeah, especially in Super Metroid.
That's crazy.
The controls were really floating in that game, and like it was so hard to like hit the missiles and the bosses. They did a bit of a better job of fusion, in my opinion, that's for sure. But Dread just knocked it out of the park.
It's great. I can't wait to finish it.
Y'all want to know my final ranking of the game?
Yes. We're good to go, man. Let's leave.
Yeah, we got you here. We might as well get it.
It's number 1 by far.
No way, really?
Number uno.
I didn't expect that.
It's easily not only my favorite Metroid game, not only my favorite Metroidvania, quite possibly my favorite 2D video game ever. Aside from like, a classic old school JRPG games, like this is my favorite 2D game.
Wow.
And this is the happiest I've been with a Switch game, like a new Switch game, not like a remake, since Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I was so happy with the final product of this game. It's an amazing game.
I think Hari, we need to have you back on our podcast. I think what we need to do is have you on for an episode of Wait Hold My Beer, where episodes that are 20 minutes or less, just Metroid. Once Drip and I finish the game, we will go spoil hard. We will talk every detail about the game.
I love that idea.
We'll have you on 20 minutes straight of just like spoilers, delicious, all the Metroid Dread spoilers and details. When I have no idea. When we finish.
Well, I mean, I could probably do the episode like next week, but Geeb at this point, who knows when he's going to be done with the
next
game.
month.
It could be next year.
No, I'll try to get it done. But guys, let's reiterate here that I don't think I actually said Hari has an Instagram. You guys go follow him on, is it right to say Instagram.com/Ghirahim Media? Is that where they could find you? Or just search Ghirahim Media. He's got an awesome Instagram, which is it all Nintendo or just Zelda?
It's everything now.
Like multimedia.
Multimedia. Actually, I'm going to pull a hot ones on.
Shit.
I'm going to pull a hot ones on you. Ghirahim, this camera. Tell us where the people can find you, what you're doing in your life. You never seen hot ones before?
No.
You just tell us like what you do on the internet and where people should follow you.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram, obviously. It's Ghirahim Media, and I just like to post stuff about like video games, movies, and like anything I love, because who doesn't love Google multimedia? Am I right? And like sometimes I'll just post. I'll do a Zelda post, or I'll do like a Metroid post, or sometimes I'll even go live streaming on Instagram to rank stuff.
That's right.
And hopefully I can transition it to like YouTube someday in the future. Definitely Twitch.
Twitch. Why are you not doing Twitch?
Twitch.
Come on.
I mean, you have to help me set that stuff up. Like I know it's simple, but like I need a FaceTime.
Are you asking Drip or are you asking me? Because
no, listen, Geeb taught me everything. I gotta do it now. Don't worry about him. I got you. I'll hook you up, man. I got you.
Yeah.
Also,
you'll find me on Twitch.
Yeah, Hari is single, by the way, ladies.
Hey, yeah.
They got that chiseled chin, that goozle right there. Come on, man. He skips legs day every week, but don't forget about that. Okay, hit him up on the DMs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hari, thank you for coming on, and we're gonna leave you now.
Thanks for having me.
Later on, man. Thanks for coming.
Nothing ever changed.
Okay, there it is.
How you doing? Right. What's up, man?
Nothing.
What a lovely time that was. That boy,
that was great.
He has grown up in front of our face, man.
I'm telling you, man. He came to us as a boy, and look at him. He's
a full-grown man,
college man now. College man.
He got bigger
things.
He got bigger guns than Geeb's guns. Like, come on, man.
He does. He does.
That's lovely. His audio quality is crap, and I tried to send him a microphone, but he won't let me.
Yeah, next time he comes on, he needs a damn microphone.
Hey, man. Well, Hari has my number now. So, Hari, if you're still listening, I have a microphone for you. It's not the best microphone in the world, but listen, get you started on Twitch, that's for sure.
A mic is better than no mic.
Anyway, we're going to transition off of Dread. That was a great conversation. We couldn't really get into specifics, which, again, I'll reiterate, we will do that again. We will get into all the spoilers.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We should definitely circle back on that and do it
for sure.
Again.
Anyway, Drip, there's lots of news. We actually delayed this podcast a few days, but the main reason we skipped it is because there was an Animal Crossing Direct the next day. So we figured we'll skip it a few days, and here we are. The podcast, you guys all of you who listen to this podcast, you probably have already heard the news, but Animal Crossing got a huge update, 2.0 update, and not only that, we had, I love to use, actually, no, this is the free content, 2.0 update, which, listen, it's a lot of content. I'm going to give them props. It's so much content in the 2.0 update. It didn't end there. So I showed the trailer to Abby after the fact. I was like, here's the Animal Crossing trailer. And she watched the first 10 minutes, and then she was like, about to close her laptop. Like, oh, that's really awesome. It's a lot of stuff. I'm like, no, don't close the laptop. There's more. There's an entire paid DLC. If you thought,
I didn't expect
my goodness,
at all.
No,
not at all.
Nobody did. They're lying if they did. But Jesus, let's just talk about real quick the 2.0 update. I have a little list here. I'll just read it off for you if you're not already knowledgeable on what happened. We have and this is in no particular order, new furniture and home customization. We have new villager interactions and player reactions. We have new food items and cooking in that, so you can grow stuff in the ground and you can cook.
That.
We have
tomatoes, dude. Tomatoes.
We have gyroids making a return to Animal Crossing after a while. We have permanent ladders that you can leave up, so it's not an incline.
That's huge.
Dude, I can't wait. I wish it was there for the Halloween stream because I had plans. I had plans to use that, but we can't.
All the stuff that I see, I'm like, God, why would they just release it?
Yeah.
Just like 10 days earlier.
The two biggest ones here, Harv's Island Shopping Plaza. Like, dude, that's
huge.
Oh my goodness. But probably the biggest and most expected news is that the Roost and Brewster is making its return to Animal Crossing.
Yeah, we knew about
New
that.
Horizons.
It's so funny because that's the one thing that they gave us in the Direct. That's the one thing they were like, oh, check it out. Look at this. And everyone thought that was going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
But they're bringing back so many things from other games. And again, like, everybody knows this is our first Animal Crossing game. We're not going to sit here and act like we're experts on who these people are. But, like, I've looked back. You know what I mean? I've seen what we're missing in this game, what people had in the old games. This is amazing. There's so many new things that we're getting. And the fact that they're actually using Harv's Island for something that's not completely stupid is great.
It's fantastic. It's so needed that there were so many things about this game, and there's still a lot that are just pretty much pointless. But they finally took something that was pointless in Harv's Island. Because listen, I've never been to Harv's Island
went once.
I've never been there once. I've no interest in decorating for a wedding. I'm sorry.
That's not even what it was. Really, it's like a place where you can do like photos, but it's.
No interest. Zero interest in
even
doing
me
that.
As a photographer, I give zero shits about that. I'm sorry. I would rather have people come to my island and we can all take a picture together in one of the 7 bars on my island.
Yeah.
That's way more fun to me. Yeah. I don't know.
So they took Harv's Island and made it useful.
Like that, but not me.
Yeah. So Harv's Island.
It's useful. It's very useful.
Yeah. Take your sip. Harv's Island, it's useful. And that's awesome. And where do we even start? I mean, it's not everything that I wanted, but like Jesus, we got tons. And we've talked about Animal Crossing in the past on this podcast.
Yeah.
And there's if you go back and listen to our previous episodes, the biggest thing that I wanted, we didn't get. We did not get many, if at all, quality of life improvements.
Hey, you can walk between tight areas now. That's huge for me. You realize I couldn't even walk in like half my basement because you can't get through.
I mean, that is very nice, but that's not the quality of life I'm expecting. The quality of life I was expecting is like, for you, for example, when you do a villager hunt on your island on your Twitch, you can actually do it within a couple of hours instead of 3 streams that are 3 hours long because all the dialogue that pops up on the screen.
That's that's a problem. I literally talk about it every time I do a villager hunt. Yeah. Every single time I bitch about it. Here's what I'm wondering though. I started to tell you this before the podcast, but I wanted to save it for now. The new what's his name? His boat's there. He's taking you to other islands too.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. His name is Cap'n.
Yeah. So is that gonna be like the ones we have now from the airport? Are there going to be villagers possibly on there?
I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea.
Because it looked like to me that's a much faster way to go on a boat to the island, get back on the boat, go to another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of going through all the dialogue in the airport, they didn't say either way. But if there's villagers on those islands too, that is definitely where I'll be going. Not to the airport.
I don't think there'll be villagers, but I mean, and they're also, don't forget, there's no dialogue, but he's gonna be singing you songs. So my expectation,
I'm sure you can probably cut out of that if you want to.
Nope. My My expectation is gonna be that it's like KK Slider, where you can't. He starts singing you a song. There's no press minus to exit cutscene. We're gonna have to listen to his 2.5-3 minute song.
Yeah, well. I mean, if that's the case, I probably won't be doing that much.
I can pretty much guarantee you that's what's gonna be like. If they add a song cut, I will be shocked.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Those are questions that will be answered. All of this drops November 5th, correct?
Yes. There is something that happens earlier, but we will before we get to that, we will talk about the DLC, the paid DLC.
Dude, the paid DLC is everything. Oh my God. You know what's crazy? The biggest thing. Let me just, one thing. The fact that you can divide rooms, build walls.
Yeah, little partitions.
Dude, you realize how long I've wanted that in this game. I tried the other day to build a fake wall in a room because I wanted it to look like a porch. It didn't work. I saw it online. I was like, I think it was on like Pinterest or something. I was like, damn, that is cool. That looks really good. Then I tried to do it and I was like, why doesn't mine look like that? Theirs looks so cool. Mine looks really stupid.
Yeah. I'm hoping this update gets me into designing because have you said it yet? This is pretty much the Happy Home Builder.
Happy Home Designer, whatever it's called. Yeah, that's basically what this is. Which, again, I said at some point, I was like, that's what I would like to have in this game. And I don't know if I said I would pay for it, I pay extra for it or not, but I mean, I would have, and I will. It's $25, and I'm not even going to have to pay for it. It's going to be included in what we're going to talk about here in a minute. But
right.
There's so much more stuff with that. And the great thing about it is once you do it over there on those islands, you can bring it back to like any skill you learn over there to do whatever with different, the walls and the
accent
countertops
walls
and stuff. Yeah, like accent walls. And another thing that I thought was really interesting they put in this is lighting.
Yes, I see.
Like mood lighting.
When they announced that,
huge,
I thought
dude.
that was already there, but apparently it's not. I mean, I thought mood lighting was kind of already there.
No. They're talking about lighting on certain things. Like I'm telling you, this is going to. You want to make a room look cool? That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Mr. Photographer.
Yes. I mean, you know how I feel about light. It's very important. This is going to change the way everything looks inside these buildings. It's going to change everything. You can do some crazy shit with some mood lighting. It's going to be nuts. Like these people who do the crazy designs, all the stuff you see online that you're just like, wow, just the lighting part of this is going to take that to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of left me speechless. So I'm at work and I had some downtime, so I turned on the direct, and I didn't expect very much, but it did not stop.
Dude, it hit you right in the face.
It made so
minutes.
much sense why they made this a separate direct, because they spent 23 minutes straight.
Remember what I said? Do you remember what I said?
I don't remember the words.
I was like, listen, man, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Because you were like, I wanted to see it at the direct.
I was half right and half wrong about that. Because
they were like, hey, we got another one coming. Come on, man.
Because we were talking.
If you're going to say, listen, we're hyping this thing up to give you 20 minutes later, it's going to be good. And man, it was way beyond what I thought it was going to be. Beyond.
So like in that case, we were talking about not only the Animal Crossing Direct, but we were also talking about the Smash Direct that happened where they announced Sora. And neither of us are the biggest Smash fans, if you haven't heard. Sora is the new Smash character.
Dropped today.
Oh, did it? Okay, I'm gonna buy that. But see, like, so when I say I'm right and wrong is that, yes, I was wrong about Animal Crossing, but I was right about the Smash Direct. Not that it wasn't cool news, but like it was 40 minutes and it did not need to be 40 minutes. It was mostly fluff. Where this Animal Crossing one was just pound, new thing to talk about, new this, new that for 23 minutes straight. It was nuts.
Yeah, I had to shoot a house. I wanted to stream it. Oh my god, let's get into that real quick.
I was shocked. I was shocked that you weren't streaming it. But it makes sense.
Well, I couldn't have anyway. Even if I didn't have to shoot the house, I couldn't have done it anyway.
Yeah.
They're building. You've been here. They're building new houses below my area of townhouses.
Yeah. Okay.
So like last week they had to turn off the water. This week on that day, right before the direct was started, they turned my power off. So when I left here to go shoot that house, I had no power. When I got back, it was back on. But yeah, even if I had it scheduled, I would have been sitting here in the dark. I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. So
when you were at your photo shoot, the Discord, the Drip Discord was we were all like going crazy.
I know my phone was in my pocket, just going crazy, and I'd pick it up and look at it like, damn it, I want to be involved in this conversation.
I was shocked that you weren't there, and I was shocked. I was more shocked that I was there. I had time at work that I could actually like sit there and talk to everybody.
Well, usually, awesome. that's I don't work early. You know that doesn't happen often. That doesn't happen often, but I had no choice. But we got a ton more information on the expansion pack for the online stuff, which was also a massive surprise. I did not think they were going to even talk about that yet. You know what I figured? I figured we would get that next week. It seemed like they were doing this like, okay, this is this week, then Animal Crossing's next week, and then we'll do online stuff the next week. That's kind of what I figured was going to happen, but they just dropped it all, and they're putting the DLC as part of the new expansion pack, which I want to hear your opinion on this. I feel like I have a different one than a lot of people, but I'm very interested to hear how you feel about not only the price, because the price is the big thing. $50 for a single. If you do a family, which means you get up to 8 people on one, it's $80.
Yeah.
But they're including this $25 Animal Crossing DLC in this. And I don't want to go into that yet because we're definitely going to talk about that. Where are you at with this on price?
On price, it is exactly what it needs to be. And that's a lot of people don't have the opinion of that. I honestly don't know your opinion on it, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it's the right price. And let me tell you why it's the right price. As it stands, yeah, we're paying a lot. It's more than double the previous price, at least in the U.S. I think the UK pricing is a little different, but at least in the U.S.
it's much cheaper. In the UK, I think it's like it's a lot cheaper. I'm not sure exactly how much, but we've had people in the Discord talking about it who are there and say it's quite a bit cheaper.
Pricing is exactly what it needs to be. Okay, at the moment it is overpriced, and that's fine. Because
I know where you're going with this.
We're looking toward the future. Okay, at the moment, you pay your $80, but you're paying your $80 for the family plan or $50. Is it 50 or 60?
The family.
No, non-family. Is it 50 or 60?
Non-family. One is 50. So
you're paying
one person's 50.
We're gonna go off the 50 for the single. Okay, you're paying your 50 for the year. Okay, this is not a monthly subscription. Calm down, everyone. It's for a year. So 12 months, you pay $50. What you get is you get all the previous stuff, the SNES, the original NES, all the cloud saves, online access, Tetris 99, that kind of stuff. But you get, in addition to that, you get the new 64 games, lots of good titles there. You get the Animal Crossing DLC. Now, do you want that or not? That's if you don't want it, don't think of it as, oh, I have it and I don't need it, that's a waste. That's not exactly the case here, as we'll get to a little bit later. And you get Genesis games. Don't forget about that. So, but the future, and people are saying, look, future DLC might come to the service. That I don't even care if future DLC comes to the service. If we get Breath of the Wild DLC, or even if they say all first-party Nintendo game DLC comes to the expansion pack, as long as you have the expansion pack, you have DLC coming all the time. I don't think that's going to be the case, but if it does, that's awesome. But what I think the future is bright with the Switch Online is that we're getting new consoles. This price includes the future consoles they're going to add. We're going to get Game Boy. We're going to get Game Boy Color. We're going to get Game Boy Advance. At least one of those three. I mean, at least. Hopefully all three. We're going to get GameCube at some point. We're going to get Wii probably very far down the line. We're going to get all these consoles
I don't think
included into the expansion pack. At least half of what I just said is true. we're going to get some of those consoles, and that's what's going to make the price worth it. We're going to get so many more games. Like the games I have now for the SNES and NES, they're not very good. There's a couple really good ones, and most of them suck. Let's be honest, especially because they're older games.
You're now listen. You're a Nintendo noob. You don't know. And there's a lot some of those are gems, man.
There's a lot of Nintendo noobs out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
crap. Do not want to play most of those games.
Especially the new stuff they were putting in there for a while. It's like, why are you even doing this? I think it's the right price. I think it's fine. I'm okay with it for this reason. I think without the Animal Crossing thing, it's way too much. I also get at the same time, for me, the Animal Crossing thing is great because I play Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't play Animal Crossing, this sucks. This is terrible. But I think what you said is probably right. I think the DLCs for future games are coming to this for sure. They have to. Think about how weird this would be. Let's just make a situation here so I can kind of explain my point here. Let's say a year from now, someone who just buys a Switch and they're getting their online stuff. And they look at the expansion pass and they're like, oh, cool. I get 64 games. I get Sega games, Genesis games. And then I get this DLC that came out a year ago. Like, why is this old DLC here? Like, there's nothing else. Like, how weird would that be a year later if it's only this DLC? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be very strange for someone just coming into Nintendo and, buying their online stuff to see a year-old deal. We're getting more. I think this is going to be Nintendo's version of what they are okay with doing with their property, like Xbox does, like Microsoft does with Game Pass. I don't think they're comfortable being like, here's all our games day one. They're not. They never have been. I mean, you look at Nintendo games, even like Breath of the Wild is, my God, it's 4 years old. It still costs $60. Like that's just what they do. They're not comfortable giving their games out like Microsoft does as a service. They are comfortable giving those DLCs that you may pay for if you weren't in their ecosystem with the online stuff. They're okay with giving those to you as part of that service, but they're going to charge you for it. And I don't think it's wrong, but I will say this, if that's not what's happening, and like what you said, if we don't get these other systems, this is not right. This is not the right price, because I'm sorry, you can play 64 games anywhere. I can play them on this stupid thing behind me. Like, you can play them anywhere.
Arcade cabinet.
Yeah. I can play Sega Genesis games on there very easily. I can literally flip the screen on right now. We can go play some Sega Genesis games. I don't need that on my Switch. Is it nice to have? Yeah, it's cool. And the fact that they're bringing these games. This is something else I thought was very interesting too. Now that I see the price and you really kind of take a look at what's going on here, we've got Banjo-Kazooie included or coming to the 64 service. That's owned by Microsoft now. That's a Rare,
Yeah.
Rare's owned by Microsoft. They're paying Microsoft for that. We have an entire Sega console coming to the service. Like, they're paying for that. So, when you really break it down and think about it, like it's expensive and it's way more than people thought it was going to be, but they're adding more than we thought they were going to add. And I don't see that stopping now. I mean, this honestly makes me think that we could see GoldenEye. Like, the one game that we all want for 64 that will happen, too many licensing. Like, the fact that they're charging this much, honestly, if we don't get GoldenEye at this point, I think that might be more of an issue than the price itself. Like, if you're going to charge people for it, go out and get the shit that they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to address a comment again. Thank you, Alex from Switch Corner.
Oh God, Alex from Switch Corner. What's he talking?
He's got a good comment. I really want to talk about it. Paying for the future is pretty poor as a financial decision to go through, considering it takes them 3 years to polish this turd with very little. So, I mean, and I want to take that topic beyond Nintendo Switch Online.
He's not wrong.
How many Nintendo games do we pay for? That we're paying for the future? Mario Golf, Animal Crossing, lots of games we pay.
It seems to be their new. I guess strategy. I don't know what to even call it. Because Mario Golf was the same thing. It's like, oh, it's free updates, but it's not free updates. We've talked about it several times. It's just the rest of the game that's clearly been done. Like, that's not DLC. But I mean, I will say this: the what's it called? Happy Home Paradise.
Yes.
That's huge. That is a huge amount of content.
You're essentially paying for that service. $20 original plan, $20.
Right.
That's a normal plan. You're paying $25 for the Animal Crossing DLC,
right,
and then $5 extra for 64
yeah,
and Genesis.
Right. They're just kind of forcing the Animal Crossing.
If you're an Animal Crossing fan,
right now,
there is nothing to think about. If you're an Animal Crossing fan,
that's what I'm saying.
There is
for
nothing
me,
to think
it's
about.
like, I'm good with this. I was going to buy that anyway.
If you're not an Animal Crossing fan, which there's a lot of those people still, there is something you have to think about.
Sold like 40. I mean, I know it sold over 30 million copies. I mean, we're coming up on 40 at this point, right?
Yeah,
we got to be. I mean, my God,
it's something to think about. But just because you're not an Animal Crossing fan doesn't mean you shouldn't buy this. It's overpriced. Listen, you're getting all the 64 games alone. You're getting
that's
such
good.
good.
For some people,
you're getting
true.
good titles. You're getting really good titles.
Yeah, they're great. No, I agree. Like I said, I don't have a problem with this. The fact that they're including the Animal Crossing stuff in it, for me, I'm good with it. And if I decide, down the road, hey, I don't care about all this stuff anymore, or maybe I decide down the road that they haven't added enough value for me to keep paying this money, I'll go back to the $20 one and I'll just go buy the expansion. I'll pay the $25, make sure I have all my stuff, and be done with it. Like, it's not hard. That's the thing. It's not required either. Everybody's making such a big deal about this. Like they're like, hey, you were paying $20. Guess what? Now you got to pay $50 and you have no choice. You have a choice. You totally have a choice. You don't have to pay the money. I don't know. I think people are really getting a little bit too crazy over this. Like, if you don't want it, don't do it. I do hope, though. I really, really do hope that, like you said, just as an example, Breath of the Wild 2, we got DLC with Breath of the Wild 1, the 2 expansion packs for that. If we see something like that come for, as an example, Breath of the Wild 2, and it's put into this, I mean, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see them just start dropping, whatever. Splatoon 3's coming out. Maybe there's DLC for that you can buy that's like, or, if you're in the online thing, you got it. Like I said, kind of like their Game Pass. They're not going to give us their games. They're not going to do that. But these DLCs, I think that's what they're comfortable with doing. I think that's probably what we're going to see going forward. I hope anyway. Because right now, that's where my head's at. I'm optimistic, hoping that's what we're seeing. If it doesn't end up going that way, and it's just this one thing that they're trying to shoehorn in to get the price up, then yeah, we're going to see a lot more backlash than we're seeing right now. That's for sure.
I think in some cases Nintendo really does have like a secret plan, maniacal. What's the word? Evil. Maniacal.
Oh, a maniacal plan?
Maniacal is an M. I think there are a lot of times they do have a little maniacal thing going on.
Jeebin words.
Yeah,
Jeebin words. He's really good with them.
I'm so good with them. I know most words, how to spell them or say them. I don't know. That's the problem. But yeah, they most times they know what they're doing. A lot of times, like in this case, they are flying from the seam of their pants. They have no idea what they're going to do. They have left.
I don't think that's true, though.
They have left it an open book. They're just gonna add it when they feel like it. When they hear the public reaction, that's when they're gonna react. Right now, this is what it is. If you want it, get it. If you don't want it, too bad. If you that's their motto at the moment.
I think you're wrong. I think they know exactly what they're doing. The big problem with this entire thing is they don't tell anybody. Instead of saying, hey, down the road, we're going to add this stuff. That's why this is worth this. They just don't say anything.
Why would that be good from a business standpoint? Why would they purposely not tell them, even though they know?
They do it all the time. Nintendo does this all the time. They just say as much as they need to say, and then they just don't talk. And then when they're ready to talk about the next thing, then we see, okay, this is what they're doing. Because this is that's just what they do.
In this case, I think you are right. But in this case, I don't think that's entirely true. I don't think
we'll see. We're gonna see.
We are. But what's before we end it? Let's talk about the actual prices themselves. We haven't really gotten to the actual price itself. Like, it's $50 for a single plan, which is more than double than the original plan, which is $20 for a single person, and then it's $80 for the family plan. Coming from $35, again, more than double of the non-64. Yeah. So you're paying more than double for exactly this. All the 64 games they announced, all the Genesis games they announced, and if you're an Animal Crossing fan, you're getting that DLC. But that's yearly, so you don't have to pay that price again next year if you want it next year. Even though if you play through the DLC this year, and let's assume they don't announce any more DLC. You play through the Animal Crossing DLC, you're an Animal Crossing fan. Next year, you're paying $80 again, and there's no more DLC. you're paying for 64 and Genesis, and hoping that they add Game Boy or something else in the next year.
I mean, we're gonna see.
It's steep.
I think the best way to do it, honestly, like I said earlier, the family plan. If you get 8, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be your family.
It's less than $1 a month. If you have actually 8 people, for real 8 people,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's
8
less
people,
than $1 a month.
It's $10 a piece. It's nothing. And that's the thing. I can add anybody into mine. I have one of my subscribers who's in our Discord is on my plan. I put him in because he wanted to play Mario Kart with us. I was like, dude, I have room. Just give me your email. I'll add you in. It's fine. I have a family plan already. Neither of my kids even touch their Switch anymore, ever. So it's like, why not get some other people on there? We all split it once a year. We meet up. Everybody PayPal's me $10. See you next year. It's way, way better to do it that way. And I know it sucks. Like for these people who want their single plans, like $50, it's like find some people. They don't have to be your friends. Go to a random Discord. Ask some people.
Listen, I just spent the last 2 years spending $20 a year on Disney Plus because I had other people to pay for Disney Plus too. $20 a year for Disney Plus because the logins, you can have as many logins as you want.
Yeah, that is nice
on Disney Plus. So if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, you can get it cheaper. They give you the loophole, and they're not saying don't do it. It's right there. Find 8 people. You're not losing anything. It's the same service. It's not like you have to share, your time online with 8 people. You get the same exact thing.
Or
that's the way to do it.
Just keep paying the same price you have been paying. It's simple as that.
$20. I mean,
$20 for an entire year.
Before we wrap this up, not only did they give us all the information on the new online expansion pack, they dropped the controllers, the 64 controller and the Sega controller.
Would you like $120 for an original GameCube or a 64 controller?
eBay, yeah. If you want one now on eBay, if you didn't get one,
yeah,
you should have seen me. I told you this story earlier. I'll tell everybody else. I was again shooting that house, and I picked up my phone and saw that they were up for pre-order. I literally put my camera down. I was like, "Listen, I'm very sorry. I have to do something right now, or I have to." They're like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine." Like I'm 35 years old, and I have to pre-order a video game controller. I'm sorry. Can you excuse me from my job so I can pre-order this video game controller? God, what a loser.
But you got one. Did you buy the Sega? Did you buy the Sega? One.
I did not get the Sega. I was going to get both. When we first saw them at the Direct, I was like, yeah, I'm getting both. The more I thought about it, like, I don't need a 3-button Sega controller. If I'm going to get one, I'll get the 8-bit Do one. It's probably better, honestly. But to play those 64 games with an original 64 controller from Nintendo, yeah, I'm all about that. I need that.
It's still original Nintendo hardware. It's Nintendo.
Yeah, that's
hardware.
what I'm saying.
It's not the original 64 controller, but it is it's a current revision, basically.
There's a big thing about the 64 controllers that I'm very interested to see what they do with the stick. Yeah, because I don't know about you, but man, my 64 controllers, that stick was just dangling everywhere. Like it had nothing, man.
I didn't own
the controller; it would just like fall over.
My first console was a PS1. I never had any Nintendo console until the Switch.
That's a sheltered child.
I own like my parents didn't buy one. I had friends that had Wii's and 64s and GameCubes, and I played them, but I didn't experience that because I didn't have that. If there was I guarantee you I've touched a dangling 64 controller stick because like in the pie, your milk crate of controllers that your friend or your friends would have.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's broken. This one.
Don't use that one.
Hey Timmy, you're getting this one because you freaking suck. Yeah, but I got my thanks to my brother Parallax securing that controller for me. He called me while I was at work like, yo, these just dropped. Let me know if you're in. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm in.
It's funny now. Yeah, I don't know how long it took for them to sell out, but they're what, $50 controller.
Yeah, 50.
I looked on eBay. They're like 120 on eBay right now.
Do not contribute.
No, don't.
Scalpers.
Yeah, anybody listening who's afraid they didn't get one, no, they will come back into stock.
They will.
They definitely will. Just give it time. This first batch will ship out the day they're actually released. They'll go back up. You'll have another chance then. They'll probably again, and then they'll be restocked again, and then nobody's going to give a shit about it. You can get them as much as you want. Because that's how it is right now with the other two. They did the regular Nintendo one, and the Super Nintendo one, you can get those on the website right now. Easy. They're no problem. And this exact thing happened with those too.
Yep. Well, guys, actually, before we get to the outro, I just want to thank a special thank to Hari, aka Ghirahim Media, on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming on. That was a very nice conversation we had. Obviously, we couldn't get into too much detail, but we got into enough detail to get the gist through. In a week or so, whenever Drip finishes, we will get into the This was spoiler free today. The next podcast with Ghirahim will not be spoiler free. We'll get into all the Metroid Dread spoilers, talk all about it. I can't wait for that.
I'm going to finish it this week. I could probably, where I'm at right now, knowing what I know about the story, the little bit that I do know of what I haven't seen yet, I'm pretty close. I could probably get it done in a couple streams this week. So maybe sometime next week we can all get together for a what are we calling them? Hold my beer.
Wait, hold my beer.
Wait, hold my beer.
HMB.
I like it.
It's a short. Wait, hold my beer. I thought of that on the spot. Pretty good. Anyway, and if you haven't checked, speaking of that, if you haven't checked out the last episode of Wait Hold My Beer, the inaugural first episode of that short series podcast form, and also Drip, you should get onto that. You should make a couple, and I'll edit them.
I will.
It'd be good. When there's a video.
See, the thing is, dude, I make YouTube videos. So
when you have
my thoughts go into those. But I will. I'll make one. Yeah, I'll make one this week.
We'll talk about it. It'd be good. Well, guys, that's a wrap for today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the Drip Geeb YouTube channel for the video format of this podcast, and tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even though it's not every Thursday, sometimes we'll do it off Thursday. It's fine. Just relax. Live stream recording of this podcast. You can also check out me as we currently are live on twitch.tv/Uncle Geeb. You can check out Drip Media as we will be next week on his twitch.tv/Drip Media. We'll do that. We record the podcast live right there, and they get uploaded to these services you're listening to right now. Patrons of mine and Drip, thank you guys so much. We could not do this without you guys. You guys make the world go round. I say that every week, but I mean it every week. Appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And audio listeners and video listeners alike, and stream listeners, you guys are all awesome. You guys help us out so much for being here, supporting what we do. Alex Twitch Corner makes me laugh at the end. Nintendo Online. Real positive. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you guys next week. This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions.